welcome to Laguna Seca in the MG. Now, it's been a while since we've driven this car, so I thought I'd pull it out of the garage, get the dust off it, and see how well it goes. Starting off the race, the Peugeot in front decides I'm not needed on the track anymore, and it's all for them. Getting pushed into the gravel. Lucky enough, I'm not the only one. A few other cars managed to follow suit. We are demoted down a fair few places. Although the Peugeot decides to absolutely nail it into turn 1 and gets taken themselves out. I've never seen an Audi fly in the air like that before. And yeah, it's kind of unusual. But we're back where we started. We're actually better off now. We're in position 9. So although we did get punted off the track, we managed to recover somewhat. Best way of putting it. Coming on the left-hand side, 3 wide into this corner here, braking at a 200 board, down to 3rd gear, turning it in, and then holding that inside line. Thankfully, the launcher behind decided to back out. You can go too wide for that corner. It's pretty wide, let's put it that way. Coming up the hill, we are now behind this Affair Accord 30672 in the base standard Honda Civic. Now, we need to try and get past this car and try and keep up with the golden Honda Civic up in front because they're pretty quick. And so we got Honda Civic, a Ford Focus in the race as well. We don't see that all too often. I'm trying to feel my way through here. The MG is not exactly the quickest in a straight line, and not like it used to be. So I'm going to go the inside here. Oh, nope, I'm going to get my nose cut off. Thank you, Honda Civic. Space is much appreciated there. You could argue I did dive in a little bit late, and that's fair enough. And probably if I was in the Honda Civic shoes, I probably would have cut the nose off the other car as well for sticking their beak in. But, you know, it was expected / unexpected. Honda and the launcher had a moment. I'm going to go up the outside here. I'm trying to watch out for the radar, see where everybody is. One thing I don't like about the radar is if a car is ghosted, they shouldn't be on the radar because they're not going to be able to affect you. So you're looking at the radar, you see a car lunge at you like you just did then, and it's like, oh, where's that coming from? It doesn't matter, it's ghosted. Like, anyway, coming up the inside on the Honda Civic, I'm going to keep pushing them wide and keep them wide as I go through this corner here. Yep, don't turn in on the car that's there. Lovely penalty system is going to give me a 0.5 second penalty. Yeah, I kind of get it. I get it. Do you think that penalty is justified? Let me know down in the comments below. Chasing up to the Ford Focus here. We're going to brake a tad late, down to 2nd gear, through the corkscrew go. Great bit of... I've got nowhere to go now. I've had a great run. Right. Thankfully, they've gone to the right. I'm going to cut up the inside, make it work. Beautifully done. Nice little undertake there. That is up to position 5. Wow. Position 4 has a 7.3 seconds worth of penalties. They have been collecting. I think one of the penalties was due to the Peugeot going into the back of them and they hit another car and they got quite a large penalty for that one. Yeah, this is annoying as well. Like, you know, the game should be able to interpret that the car was lunged on rather than it was an intentional act of hitting somebody else. But the penalty system only can calculate what's the contact, not what's led up to the contact, if you get what I mean. So if you got rammed from behind and hit the car in front of you, the penalty system takes that as 2 separate instances, if I remember correctly, not as one large incident that needs to be dissected some more. Yep, it's bog standard. Braking at the 200 mark here, down to 3rd gear, totally missing the gear ratio. Actually, the MG's engine's really quiet, so it's kind of hard to hear where I need to be and what gear I'm in. But we're only 3.5 seconds away from Rizatos. They are rocking that 7.3 second penalty, so I'm not overly concerned. Which is kind of a good thing, like, you know, I mean, if we, well, I mean, position 5 right now, that means when the race ends, if we can keep up with them and no more shenanigans happen, we're going to have position 4. I mean, if you look at it, considering we've done rather well. Started off the race, I think it was position 10. Then we got rammed off the track, put us down to 18. The rammer decides to nail it into everybody into turn 1, destroys the whole place, makes an Audi levitate, and we managed to swoop up with the inside and end up in position 9. gained a few more places. Now we're up to position 5. And talking about that Peugeot, I haven't seen them in a little while. I wonder if they've quit the race. Would be interesting to know. I mean, usually when you get a driver like that, everybody gangs up on them, and I think pretty much everybody did gang up on that car in turn 1 and just pushed them out the way. It's kind of silly, really, and so is that corner. That's all I can say. Totally misjudged that. Oh yeah, I really gained there. I really did gain. I mean, I can't really grumble all that much. Last race, we got away with murder. This race, the stewards are nailing us for every little bit they can. It's funny because I think it's more track related these days now. You know, some tracks are far more forgiving than they ever used to be, and some tracks have not been touched. And talking about things that have not been touched, the MG. The MG is a car I haven't really been in for a long time. And I think the last time I really drove it competitively was before the nerf that absolutely wrecked this car. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the nerf to an extent, but when they nerfed this car, the Audi became the OP car again. It was the Audi to start off with, this car came out, and then this car got nerfed and the Audi became OP again. And don't get me wrong, now everything's far more balanced to an extent, but I still think this car lacks in the power department, and it's a shame really, because it is a brilliant car. Clumsy little car though at times when it doesn't want to forgive you for a situation you've put it in, but overall it's a great car. And I do miss driving it because it was a little beast of a machine, and thankfully also it doesn't suffer from aero wash like it used to. God, this car used to suffer from that. It was awful for it. And talking about awful, we are 6.3 seconds away from the Honda Civic up in front, which is quite a bit of time. We're actually bleeding away from them. And it goes to show that lack of experience in the MG, and I think a lack of power in it, because the Honda Civic is really quick nowadays. This car is starting to suffer ever so slightly. Don't get me wrong, I'm making silly mistakes here and there, but it's been a while since I've been in this car, and I think a couple of more races in this, and I should be on level to what it can and can't do. Talking about what it can and can't do, Honda Civic's overtaken the car up in front. Now, just the problem with this is I don't know how far they are away, and I'm trying to judge my time away from theirs. Don't forget, I've got to also include the time of my own penalty. I want to make sure that I gain that position from them. I mean, we're starting our final lap now, and 5.1 seconds away from whatever that car up is in front. I think they're very close to that Honda Civic. Would be interesting though also what tires everybody is on, because if they were on soft tires we might benefit. And I mean, I don't think you get soft tires the last 6 laps, not a Laguna. Maybe 4 laps on a push, but the last 2 laps will be absolutely awful. We're running out of fuel here as well. Don't worry about that. I've been close before. Thankfully, we are 5 seconds away from the car behind, which is nothing but short of a miracle. Coming up the top of this hill, we're going to keep on the right hand side here and look out for the number 2. There it is, braking. Oh look, there's the Peugeot we were talking about earlier. They're still in the race, just not sure what to do with themselves. Do you know what? I'm just going to park here, mate. Yeah, it'll be perfectly fine. You do realise we're all ghosted. They have no clue on what's going on in this world. Coming around this section here now, and we are 3.1 seconds away from that Hyundai up in front by the looks of it. That's great news. I don't think the Honda is going to be too far ahead of them, so we're actually on this final lap we made quite the gain. Worrying factor is I don't know how far that Honda Civic is up in front. I can see him on the map, but that doesn't correlate to time. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we cross the line and we're in position. Come on, show me the money. 4, brilliant stuff. But don't go anywhere just yet. We've got a race at Bathurst in the rain, which becomes actually rather interesting. But before we get there, I'd like to take a moment out to thank our channel members, which are Jeffrey Anderson, Andy Good, Sigmatic, Daniel Adams, Crazy A, AK47, and Spectral Rain. Now, if you'd like to join this leaderboard here, don't forget to hit that join button down below. Now, the reason I say this race is interesting is because I actually qualified for this race. Now, this is my one and only qualifying lap. There wasn't actually many people in this race. I sat in this lobby for 10 minutes and 6 people joined. Might have been 6, might have been 7. Pretty sure it was 6. But yeah, it really wasn't many. And I think the rain put a lot of people off. This track is funky in the wet weather. Let's put it that way, especially the top of the hill. It is kind of dicey and really unforgiving. But we're coming up this back, well, not back straight, but the front straight, really. Doing rather well, power-wise, getting the speed right up there. Going to be looking out for the blue hut on the left-hand side, and that is our first braking point. Down the third gear, rubbing that inside line and start powering out of this corner. Up the hill we go. Bring it back over to the right-hand side. And then just let the car coast in a little bit, braking down to second gear and keep tight to that wall on the inside and accelerating outwards. Now cutting this corner on the right and then keep it over onto the left. You want to feather the throttle coming up through this section here. Keep the power on as much as you can. Don't obviously hit that wall. Another car set at 233. Don't know what that means. If that's a good time or not. But we're coming through this top section. It could have gone through that a little bit quicker there. This corner can be dicey, especially in the wet. As you can see, the car is having a bit of a moment there. Braking down to third gear here. I think I'll come in a little bit hot. Nope, seems to be all right. Should have braked a little bit earlier there. Back end stepping out. Don't hit the walls. Thank you ever so much. Because as soon as you hit that wall, it's going to dirty the lap. And that is the last thing we need. Oh, another qualified. A 132. No idea what that means still. Do you see that stutter then? That was a bit of a stutter. Still broken. This is why I don't really qualify, because that stutter used to be a lot more, and that was a couple of tenths of a second. Now that stutter there was a tenth of a second, and it does affect your overall lap time because the game puts you back, and a tenth of a second is a huge deciding factor whether what position you're going to get on the track. And no idea why. Turn 10 have looked into it, still not fixed it. Same as a lot of other things, I guess. Just one added to the Elder Scroll list. Braking down to second gear here, kissing that curb on the inside, out on the corner. We are going to be setting a 220, I reckon. 227. There we go. 5 seconds faster. Hopefully nobody else qualifies. Only 40 seconds left to the race start. And we did get pole, which is great news. Nobody else around us. Starting off here. Getting a great run off the line. Got an Audi to my right. Actually, this race is fully... oh, yeah. Braked a little bit late there. Oh, well, never mind. Got a kiss out the corner. So, it's Audis, Golf, and me in the Civic. Yep. 6 of us in this race. And the majority picked the Audi. Still goes to show people think it's still one. Well, it is a really good car, but you know, there's other cars out there that are pretty competitive. Coming down here now, this track is soaking wet, and it's really hard to find a dry line. I am curious though. Does anybody know if Forza, as you go around the track, you create your own dry line, or is that not a thing anymore? Because it used to be. In the older titles, it's like puddles and things like that. You have to let me know, because it's hard to tell. But coming up through the section, we're almost 2 seconds away from the Gulf behind. People's collecting penalties already. Coming through here, that was close. That was close. The thing that isn't close is this. I think I turned a tad late there, and I was just sat there on top of water. There's nothing I could do there besides slow down and hope for the best. Now we have lost a total of 4 seconds from the whole incident, and thankfully that was a beautiful swing through that corner there. Yeah, we was 2 seconds ahead, fell off the track, and now we're 2 seconds behind. Now I know the Gulf isn't the fastest in the straight line, so hopefully we're not in the slipstream. Well, thought that counts, I guess. 1 second away. We might actually catch into a bit of slipstream. We are 1.5 seconds away from the car behind, who is now rocking a 1 second penalty, and the car behind that also 1 second's worth of penalties. Yeah, don't understand how they managed that. But coming down here, braking at the 150 board, down to third gear, and the Golf is getting punished now. I think it's got to be that there is a line getting created whilst the car is driving through, because is aquaplaning a thing in this game? I don't know, but it's a thing in the real world. And yes, I know there's the differences, but yeah, I'm just going to digress and move on from what I'm starting here. 2.3 seconds away from Matrix member behind, who's the driver of the Golf. Benz Mafia is the one in the Audi behind that, and 5.6 seconds away is actual Mavis. Now, you may see that we are in a very good position, but the car behind is having all manners of fun with the Golf. Now, this is quite unexpected. So the Audi is looking to make a move in the Golf, and every time the Audi moves, the Golf reacts, which to an extent is fair enough, right? But, you know, 1 or 2 defensive moves is understandable, but there comes to a point where that's becoming a block, if you know what I mean? And then you can understand the frustration that drivers have, where if you're constantly doing that, then they will find a way. Like this, you're getting pushed off into the grass just so you don't lose that position, which is not really fair, not to the Audi driver. I mean, coming up here now, see what I mean? Contact's being made constantly. Got the whole left-hand side of the track there. I mean, fair play to the Audi driver for not retaliating. That's all I can say. But it all comes to a head in a moment, because the Golf over defends again as the Audi pokes the nose in, and I would say they made their own bed here. It gets really, really funny, and you can only laugh about the matter because there's nobody else at fault besides the person in the Golf. So the Audi's going to come up the inside here. Golf's going to block the door for no reason, because it could have been quicker having the inside line, but they chose not to, and it's really bit them in the butt because this is position 4. Now there's 6 people in a race, 1 has quit, so there's 5 left. So it's me in P1, the Audi that took the Golf out in P2. There is that green machine in P3. This is P4, and they're in P5. And I'm not saying that they're close to me, because I think this car at the moment is about 7 seconds behind where I am, or at least, is it 7 or 15? Doesn't matter. Either way, you can't exactly leapfrog your way back up the order here, because you have nobody to slipstream or run off. So you really have put yourself, well, nails in the coffin, let's put it that way. I mean, this is where I am at the moment. The Audi behind is 7.6 seconds away. Actual Mavis is the green machine, 10.8 seconds, and a Boss 1234 Luke is 15 seconds away. It's crazy. Really is crazy. I mean, Benz Mafia has a 5-second penalty. I don't think that was justified, though. I really don't. I think it's a shame that they got a penalty for something that was not their fault. You could argue it was their fault, they stuck the nose in and they could have backed out, but then again, if you're the car in front, why would you go over to the right hand side and pit yourself? You know, it's, I would say, more of a racing incident, or if there were actually stewards in this race, I would say the Golf would actually probably get penalised for it, because they made their own bed and have been overly blocking or defending, whichever way you want to see it, with force of the vehicle, rather than planning ahead and going, oh, I'm going to close the door before someone takes the door. Anyway, coming through this section here, we are coming up towards the end of lap 3 now. Overly cautious through this corner, but you can see why, because as soon as I power on, the Honda Civic pushes out and goes towards that wall. Now that wall is made of glue, it will just spin you, so there's no really need for that. Thankfully though, Benz Mafia is over 5 seconds away from actual Mavis, so hopefully that means they keep that position, because again, I don't think that penalty is justified. Boss 123 Luke is 18 seconds away, so I hate to think where the Golf is at the end of this race. I mean, they're the last car now. The position 6 quit, Don't know why. But if they're 20 seconds away, that means that at least the Golf is at least 25 seconds away, because there was quite a gap between them and Boss Luke. We could have set a better lap time here, 25.401. And usually my best in the dry weather is 217, I think I got, or 216. I can't remember. Either way, we're on our final lap now, final push, final send. Brilliant news. Honda's behaving lovely. Coming to think of it, I'm actually really grateful it wasn't me that got tangled up with the Golf, because I don't know how I would have reacted. You know, as you guys know, I'm extremely passive, and I try just not to get tangled up and stuff like that. But it does come to a point where I get annoyed, and usually when I pick an overtaking zone, which is usually on the straights where it's open and easy to overtake, and if I start getting blocked like that, I probably would have done exactly what the Audi did and put myself into a position where they took themselves out. And then you just go, oh, whoopsie daisy, it's your fault, you know? And so this is why I'm really siding with the poor Audi driver and the penalty they received, because again, I just don't think it's justified. I mean, what do you think? You're gonna have to let me know down in the comments below if you think it was justified or not. But going through the section here, kissing that wall, and actually I didn't get a dirty lap from kissing that wall. You see the back end of the car really, really playful in this weather, and it kind of tries to bite you, but it lets you know that if you keep pushing, it will bite you. So I really do enjoy this Honda. Coming downhill, braking for this corner for the final time. Thank golly for that, because it's so misleading, this corner. You think, oh, I've got loads of room, and then suddenly you don't. 16 seconds away from position 2. Position 2 is 6 seconds away from 3, and 3 and 4 are very close to each other actually. And with number 3's penalty, I think that makes Boss 123 Luke will have that position unless something else goes on. And no idea where the Golf is. We're going to have a look at the leaderboard at the end of this race. But coming down to the final corner for the final time for the final race. I just wanted to add as many finals as I can into this. Breaking it down to second gear, butchering it, and fireworks are off, but it's too wet for them. Let's have a little dance, swing the car around. Yes, look at the crowd go wild for me finishing first. It's been a while. Oh dearie me, where is that Golf? Wow, they finished almost 30 seconds behind me. 1 second away from Boss Luke, and Actual Mavis actually kept their position even with that penalty. Brilliant news. Thank you for watching. See you all next time.